The escalating trade tensions between Germany and the United States have sparked a fierce and dramatic wave of strikes at Volkswagen, signaling the deepening economic rift between the two powerful nations. This growing conflict has been catalyzed by a series of aggressive tariffs that the US has imposed on German imports, including steel and aluminum. These tariffs, which represent a dramatic shift in US trade policy, are causing ripples far beyond the automotive industry, plunging international relations into turmoil. In response to this unprecedented economic challenge, Germany and Canada have entered into urgent and high-stakes discussions, exploring coordinated measures to combat the harmful tariffs imposed by the US. The stakes are high as both nations realize that this conflict is not merely about protecting their own economic interests, but also about defending the global trade system from the destructive forces of protectionism. This collaboration between Germany and Canada underscores the increasing necessity for countries to unite in the face of growing global economic instability. At the heart of this conflict lies President Donald Trump's protectionist policies, which have ignited a firestorm of backlash from America's allies. The automotive and construction industries, in particular, have found themselves at the center of this battle, with devastating consequences for global supply chains. German automotive giants like BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Volkswagen, which export hundreds of thousands of high-end vehicles to the US every year, are facing the imminent threat of crippling tariffs. These tariffs, if left unchecked, could decimate the revenue and operations of these iconic companies and, by extension, deal a devastating blow to the German economy. But the implications of this trade war stretch far beyond Germany's borders. The entire European Union could be drawn into the chaos as nations within the Union scramble to find solutions that will mitigate the damage caused by US trade policies. Germany, knowing that it cannot rely solely on the cumbersome bureaucratic processes of the European Union, is considering taking swift and decisive action on a national level. The German government is weighing the possibility of enacting measures specifically designed to protect its domestic automotive sector, a sector that represents the lifeblood of the national economy. The situation has taken a dramatic turn as Canada, similarly impacted by the US tariffs, has vowed to retaliate. The Canadian government, recognizing the economic peril posed by these tariffs, has announced plans to implement its own retaliatory measures. This strategy, however, is not merely about safeguarding Canadian industry. It is also aimed at exerting political pressure on powerful American interest groups. Canada's goal is to preserve its trade interests and maintain a balanced, fair trading relationship with the United States. The diplomatic stakes are higher than ever, as Canada and Germany explore the possibility of forming independent trade agreements that would allow them to shield their economies from the fallout of US tariffs. The drama of the situation is further compounded by the larger geopolitical ramifications of President Trump's America First trade policies. Under his leadership, US trade policies have become increasingly antagonistic, pitting America against its closest allies. The result has been a deeply fractured international community, with trade wars erupting on multiple fronts. But rather than acquiescing to Trump's aggressive tactics, Germany and Canada have chosen to fight back. Their response is not just one of resistance, but of strategic cooperation, a calculated effort to undermine US protectionism and prevent the erosion of global trade norms. The global automotive industry, particularly in Germany, is now bracing for the full impact of rising tariffs. Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and Volkswagen, companies that have long been the epitome of precision engineering and luxury manufacturing, are poised to face massive financial losses. The increased tariffs on German-made cars could spark a chain reaction of economic devastation, resulting in significant job losses, disrupted supply chains, and a shrinking of the manufacturing sector in Europe. This threat is not just theoretical, it's a ticking time bomb that could explode if the US refuses to back down. As the US prepares for the upcoming elections, the possibility of a temporary trade deal between the US and Europe, including Canada, remains tantalizingly within reach. The specter of these looming elections adds a layer of uncertainty and urgency to an already volatile situation. Both Germany and Canada are racing against time, desperately seeking a diplomatic resolution that would shield their economies from further harm. For them, the stakes could not be higher. Any further escalation of this trade war could have disastrous consequences for their economies and for the broader global market. The fallout from this trade war is already being felt across industries, and the future is uncertain. Trade barriers are continuing to rise, creating enormous risks for businesses in both Europe and North America. The economic damage from these tariffs could be staggering, and without a resolution, the global economy could be plunged into a protracted and painful trade war that could last for years. The growing divide between the US and its allies threatens to dismantle decades of economic cooperation and replace it with a brutal, zero-sum struggle for dominance. Germany and Canada are now locked in a delicate dance, attempting to navigate the murky waters of international diplomacy while fiercely defending their national interests. The possibility of a full-blown trade war looms large, and the consequences of such a conflict could reshape the global economic order for years to come. The world watches with bated breath as these two nations prepare for what may be the defining geopolitical struggle of the decade. The outcome of this trade standoff is yet to be determined, but one thing is clear: the global economy stands at a crossroads. Will Germany and Canada succeed in their bid to protect their economic futures? Or will the US push them into a destructive trade war that could have far-reaching consequences for the entire world? The answers remain elusive, but the stakes are monumental. The next few months will likely be pivotal in determining the direction of global trade, and with it, the future of the world economy itself.